Hey, good morning, dear students. We were discussing about the skeletal system. Okay. So in this section, we are going to have a very brief idea regarding a very small topic I am going to take today. And so far, we have discussed about the skeletal system, and we were on the path of what this axial skeletal system. Okay, axial skeletal. There are two types: axial and appendicular. So then we have seen about the skull. Now we are coming to the vertebral column. Okay, so the structure of a vertebra. Okay, so here we can see the structure of the vertebra. It may be having a body. Okay, the body a cylindrical shaped body. This region. Okay, a cylindrical shaped body that is known as the centrum. Okay, just near that centrum there will be a hollow space, a canal that is known as the neural canal. Okay, understand? Then just adjacent to this neural canal we will see some processes. Okay, some body process can be seen. That processes are known as the transverse process. It's a pair of transverse processes. Okay, and there will be a pointed portion. Okay, that portion is known as the neural spine. Okay, so we have to have an idea regarding what are the parts of the a typical vertebra. Okay. Now let's come to the different parts of the vertebral column. Okay. What are the parts of the vertebral column? Yes, it is having 5 parts are there. Okay. The first part is known as the cervical. The cervical vertebrae. Okay. So we can see that this neck region we can see the cervical vertebrae. Okay. And just below that cervical vertebrae, we can see the thorax. Okay, this region, that chest region, that is the thorax. Okay, that is known as the thoracic vertebrae. First one is cervical, thoracic. Then coming up to the abdomen, that region, belly region, that is known as the lumbar vertebrae. Okay, just below the lumbar vertebrae, you can see the sacral vertebrae. Just in the hip region, we can see the sacral vertebrae. Then comes to the last portion that is known as the caudal vertebrae. So there are 5 regions: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and caudal. All these terms are very important. Then what may be the functioning of this vertebral column? You know that it is very important for this support. It will support our body. For bending, we need what? Vertebral column. Okay, so it will support the body, and it will be helping in the protection. Okay, it will protect the spinal cord. Okay, then for locomotion, for movement, for moving from one place to the next place, we need what? This vertebral column. Okay, then we come to the thorax region. The thorax region, we can see the ribs. There is ribs, 12 pairs of ribs are there. Then there is thoracic vertebrae. The thorax region we can see the thoracic vertebrae. Then there is ribs, and in the front region, this region, you can see the sternum. Okay, you have to go through the textbook as well as the diagrams. Okay, so in our textbook we have a neat elaborate diagram. You have to go through that diagram. So there is ribs, thoracic vertebrae, and what? Sternum. Sternum here. Okay. So these 3 portions that constitute what? The rib cage. Inside the rib cage, the internal organs such as the lungs as well as our heart, all these are highly protected. Okay, they are very safely they are protected in this rib cage. And this rib cage is formed of ribs, 12 pairs. There are 12 pairs of ribs. Then there is what? Thoracic vertebrae is there. Then there is what? A long bone here in this area. That is known as the sternum, the chest bone. All these constitute the rib cage. Our ribs are of 12 pairs. And this here also, we can see that some of the ribs, the first 7 pairs of the ribs, they will have an attachment backward by the thoracic vertebrae, and at the front, these ribs, they are joined with what? The sternum. Okay, such kind of ribs are known as what? True ribs, because they are joined to the sternum in the front. Back, there is what? Thoracic vertebra. There is 7 pairs. The next 3 pairs, they are known as the false ribs. Okay, so they are not joining directly to the sternum, but they are joining to the 7th pair of what? True ribs. They are joining with the 7th pairs of what? The true ribs. They are not directly joining with the sternum. Then last coming the floating ribs. There are 2 pairs. Okay, and therefore what? They do not have any contact with what? This sternum. Okay, so that's all. Then here in this region we can see the chest bone, that is known as the sternum. Okay, then what is the function of this? All these bones, they are very helpful for what? Protection and support. They will protect our internal organs and for breathing. Very important, that is for breathing we need the sternum as well as what? The rib cage. Okay, so that's all about these things. You have to go through your textbook and you have to go through the textbook, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, so now I am going to winding up. It's a very small section. Okay, the next section we will talk about the next topic. Okay, go through the textbook and have an idea regarding it. Only the terms are very important. Okay, the cervical to caudal vertebrae, then what? Ribs, thoracic vertebrae, and sternum that constitute the rib cage. Then there are 12 pairs of ribs, true ribs, false ribs, and what? Floating ribs. Floating ribs means what? They are not having any contact with the sternum. Okay, in the front it is not joined with sternum. Okay, but in the false ribs, there are 3 pairs, and these are joined in the front with the 7th pair of true ribs. What about the true ribs? They are directly joined with the sternum. So that is kind of a cage. Inside that cage, all the internal organs, the very important internal organs, they are highly protected. Effectively, they are protected inside. So for breathing and the protection, for all these things we need what? The sternum and the ribs. Okay, so that's all about today, and in the next class we can continue. Okay, so go to the textbook and study all these terms. Okay, so thank you.